Okay, so as we get started, I'm just going to show you what we're going to be using. Here is my saucepan, which has a protruding handle. It's good because it gives you a firm grip when you are mixing your sadza. If you are if you're cooking for more people, you can use a bigger pot. Okay, and our star of the dish is, of course, our mealie meal, or as some would like to call it, maize meal, and in Shona we call this hufu. Okay, so this is what we're going to be using for our sadza. We're going to be putting a twist, adding some butter or margarine, and I do this for the flavor that it gives to sadza. It gives a very lovely taste, and it's good if it's your first time trying out sadza. You won't taste as blunt or as dull as some complain and say that it is. And but you can opt to skip this if you don't want butter or margarine in your sadza. Fair enough, you don't have to add it. Finally, this is the wooden spoon that I'm going to be using. It's got a flat and almost round surface, and that's good when you're mixing your salsa. It will help you to get rid of any lumps that may form when you're cooking. Alright, so next step is putting our mealie meal in the pot. Okay, so here is the pot, and I've added the mealie meal into the pot. This is about roughly 1.5 cups of mealie meal. So to this, I'm going to be adding my cold water to make a paste. Just enough to make a paste, not too much. I'm just going to add a little bit more. This is roughly about 150 mils. Let's put the water away. Okay, so right, as you can see, you make a paste like this with your cold water and your mealie meal. Okay, and then you just give it a quick mix until everything is combined like this. Okay, so now we're going to go to our stove top, and we're going to add some boiling water, and we start the cooking process. Okay. Alright, so we're on the stove top. Now I'm going to be adding the hot water whilst stirring simultaneously. I'm doing this so that we avoid having lumps in our sadza. I've added about 500 mils of water, and now we're going to be stirring until it starts to boil. So this may take a bit of time depending on how hot your stove is. You can have your temperature or your heat on your stove on medium high. Again, that's also depending on how hot your stove gets. After adding your hot water, you need to hold your pot firmly, as I'm doing, because you don't want it to slide off the stove and burn you. That would be a disaster. Okay, so you can see that it's beginning to thicken, and this means that it's just about to boil. I feel as though this is a bit thick, so if it looks like it's a bit thick, you need to add some more hot water. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And you need to do this simultaneously. Every time you're adding your hot water, you need to do it whilst you're stirring. You don't want this mixture to be too thick, otherwise it will not simmer properly. Okay, So you just keep adding bit by bit. Whilst just stirring here, I've added roughly about 250 ml more of water. So maybe for you to avoid doing what I've done here, you can just add 750 ml of water right from the onset. Okay, so I'm just stirring a bit fast here. It's about to start boiling. And there we go. You quickly then need to replace your lid. Then reduce your heat as well to probably by a notch down. And we're going to let this simmer for, I usually do 20 minutes, but anytime from 15 minutes, you're good to go. So we're going to give this 20 minutes and we'll be right back. Okay, so 20 minutes is up. We're going to open up our pot of sadza. So put the lid away. Okay, so now it has been simmering for 20 minutes and this is what you have. At this point, I'll just note that if you're making maize meal porridge, this is it. This will be your porridge and it will be ready to go. You just add peanut butter, margarine or anything. Okay, so moving on with sadza. Now I'm just going to be adding my mealie meal bit by bit whilst mixing at the same time. So just straight out of the packet, I'm pouring in my mealie meal. You can use a cup, a scoop, or anything you're comfortable with to add the mealie meal. Okay, so this is my first addition, and we're just going to mix it around like this at first. At this stage, I'm going to add the margarine. So I'm just grabbing a fork, a knife. Okay, so like that, put that away, and then add just a little bit of mealie meal. And now we begin doing what we call kumona sadza. So again, as I'm demonstrating, you need to have your hand firmly on the pot. You mix your sadza, bringing it to the edges of your pot like this. Be careful not to spill it out. But the reason why we mix like this is because when we add our mealie meal, some lumps start to form. And there's nothing as bad as eating sadza that has lumps. Oh, that's really, it really puts you off. Okay, so you keep mixing like that, or rather like this, until you are satisfied that your sadza is smooth and there are no lumps in it. So you mix, bring it around, shave off the sadza from your wooden spoon, give it another go, bring it to the pot. So this is very good. This is a very good workout for your arms. You can imagine cooking for 50 people or 100. But like I said in the beginning, the more you do this, the more you become comfortable, confident, and a pro at this. So sometimes if you don't mix your mealie meal in properly, you will end up with a grainy texture. By this I mean that you will see traces of mealie meal in your sadza, and that also won't taste good. Okay, so I'm just going to close the pot and give this sadza about 5 minutes to simmer, or as we call it in Shona, kushinira. At this point you would also need to reduce your heat to the lowest notch and just let it cook up just a little bit more. And if it's thin, this is the point where it will thicken up as well. Okay, so next time I'll be showing you how we serve this. Right, so our sadza is done and it's ready to be served. I'm just going to demonstrate how we dish out the sadza. Okay, so here I have a bowl with water and another wooden spoon that is in the shape of a dishing spoon. This is the traditional spoon that we use when serving sadza. It's called in our mother tongue mugwaku. Okay, but you can use any spoon that you have, even the stainless steel ones, as long as it has this shape here. Or even now you can put in a bowl to shape the sadza or anything. Okay, so I'll open up the pot, just put the lid away, and I'll just mix it one last time, just bringing it around. Okay, so the thickness of your sadza will be based on how you like it. If you like it very thick, you put more millimil when you're mixing. Okay, so when it's like this, we take our wooden spoon, dip it in water. The reason we dip it in water is because we don't want it to stick to the wooden spoon. Go to your pot, get the amount that you want, grab your plate and put it in the plate. And then you just use the back of your spoon to sort of shape the sadza. So here is our final presentation of our sadza. It's served with sauteed cabbage, with grated carrot, and some beef stew. You can serve it with chicken, fish, beans, pork, anything that you can think of. Okay, so thanks again for watching. Do give it a go.